to Diaries and Smiles. Today, as you can tell, I am in a slightly different setting. I'm actually filming it from my bookshelf. Let me know if you guys prefer me to film in this sort of area versus the white wall that I usually have in my living room. I have been getting some requests to sort of, you know, have a bookshelf in the background like I have right now. So today, I am actually going to be doing a very sort of early, there's still 3 days left in February, but I'm going to be doing my February wrap-up and my March TBR. So I ended up actually, I used to watch Vampire Diaries, if you guys are familiar with the show. I watched all the way up to like season 3 and then I stopped watching because I got super busy with schoolwork. So now, fast forward 2 years in the future where I am now, I decided to start it up again and I have just been binge watching it so much this month, and now I'm on season 5. And I also have only read 4 books. Kinda sad, so very disappointing, but do I regret it? No, because Vampire Diaries is getting so good, like, if you guys don't watch the show, go and watch it. It is about vampires and, you know, love triangles and all that good stuff. Now getting back to the main point of this video, which is books. The first book that I read, that was amazing! Cinder. Oh, it's so good. Cinder is about, it's a Cinderella retelling story, but it is a Cinderella retelling story that takes place in the future, which is awesome. Okay, I gave this book a 10 out of 10 because it was fantastic. It was definitely probably my favorite book that I read this month. Okay, the next book I read this month was The Endgames by T. Michael Martin. Sort of a zombie apocalypse book, but it's not really written, like, the word zombie isn't used, I think, at all in the book. These creatures are called bellows. Oh my gosh, this book is just so amazing. It follows Michael and Patrick, brothers that are sort of in this apocalypse and are trying to survive and kind of think of this world now as a video game, and that's how they get through it. They think that every time they get attacked or every time they have to go and search for food, that it's all part of a video game that they're in. They've sort of created this world for themselves to kind of dampen the severity of the situation, which is, you know, they're in an apocalypse. But 7 out of 10. I very, very much enjoyed it, and yeah, it was great. The next book I read this month was Made Me Cry. I think I posted like at least 5 or 6 tweets while I was reading this book. So good. It just pulls at your heart, and it is Every Day by David Levithan. Oh, you guys, this book is so ridiculously sweet. If you're looking for a contemporary book that is short and just gets straight to your heart, I feel like anybody can relate to this book, whether you know you're a boy or a girl, no matter what your age is. Because of who the main character is, it really is a very relatable book, and it's just it's just so sweet, and I absolutely loved it. And I think that if you need a book, if you feel like crying, read this book. The last book that I'm actually about 3/4 of the way through, or half to 3/4 of the way through, but like I said, there's 3 more days left in the month. I definitely will be done with it by the end of the month, and that is The Sin Eater's Daughter by Melinda Salisbury. Now, I have a proof copy of it. This is the cover that you would see if you were to purchase it in stores, and it came out February 24, 2015. Okay, so at first, I really didn't like this book. Now, it is a fantasy book. I would say it is like a YA fantasy book. Didn't really understand the world, and I feel like whenever you read a fantasy book, the first few pages are always kind of really hard to understand, just because, you know, the name of the country or wherever the person's living, the setting, the name of the characters, they're all not sort of familiar names. Like with fantasy books, the characters' names are usually something very exotic and hard to pronounce, and that is definitely the case with this book. And it took me a little bit to sort of get into the world and fully sort of immerse myself in the book. But when I was immersed, I think when I about hit 100 pages is when I started really liking the characters. And so far I'm giving this book a 7 out of 10. Like I said, I still have half of the book left to read, so I don't know how it's gonna go. I don't even count this as a workout because it's just so disappointing. Look at that. Oh, that is pathetic. 4 books in a movie, and I mean 4 books in a whole season of a TV show. I feel like if I add that on there, it makes it a little more impressive. Let's move on to what I plan on reading next month. Since a lot of the books on my TBR list for February I did not get to, I will be pushing some of those books over to read into March, and I will also be adding some new books. And all the books that I said I was going to read this month that I didn't, those are probably just going to go back on my TBR shelf right here until I get around to them. So I have 6 books that I will get done in March. I am determined to finish all of these books. The first 2 books I'm going to show you I was actually sent as a belated birthday gift from my friend Sarah, the same person who created the last tag video, the character hating tag. Thank you so much, Sarah, again, if she's watching this video, and yeah, let me show you what those books are. Book number 1 that I'm reading in March is Dune by Carrie Corp and Lori Langdon. I don't know much about this book, but I do know that it takes place in Scotland, and there's princes involved, I believe. So yeah, I'm very excited to read this book. Okay, the next book. This book. If you guys can tell from my background, my little Alice in Wonderland poster over there, my favorite classic story of all times is Alice in Wonderland. I have read a lot of Alice in Wonderland retelling stories. So Sarah also got me, because she knows how much I love Alice in Wonderland, another Alice in Wonderland retelling story, and it is Alice in Zombieland by Jenna Showalter, I think. You guys, look how beautiful. I have a slight zombie obsession. I read a lot of zombie books. Combine my favorite, pretty much, I guess, mythical creature, zombies, with my favorite classical story, Alice in Wonderland, to get this book. Yes! Okay, the next books that I plan on reading in March is a book that, like I said, I was supposed to read in February, but instead I decided to watch The Vampire Diaries. No regrets. But it is The Winter's Curse. I don't know, it's something about the cover. I'm judging a book by its cover. It's just so beautiful that I feel like I need to read it. So I'm gonna read this one. Okay, so the last series that I'm so excited to read, because it is by my favorite author of the Raven Boys. I don't know if you could see, but I have the Raven Boys up there on my shelf. Excuse the space up there. I'm actually reorganizing all my books on my bed. It's by my favorite author, Maggie Stiefvater, and it is the Shimmer series. How beautiful this is. Oh, I could just like fan myself right now if it wasn't so thick. This is the series I also plan on reading in March. I will probably read this one first. I'm not gonna lie, I am being a little biased because Maggie Stiefvater wrote this series. I have just been missing Maggie Stiefvater's writing so much, and that is why I'm reading this series in March, and it is the last set of 3 books that I will be reading in March. So these are books that I plan on reading in March. A little intimidating looking at all of these books compared to the wimpy stack of books that I read this month. Looking forward to all of these books, and thank you again to Sarah who sent me some of these books, and also to Scholastic Books. Yeah, I'm so excited. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know again what you guys think of the background, if you prefer me in sort of this more casual sort of filming area versus my more professional looking white background that I have in my living room. Until next time, keep reading.